Hey there everybody, how's it going? It's me, your guy Wattles, and welcome back to the Minecraft Guide, episode number 72. Big day if you said Creeper Farm in the comments of the last episode. Well, unfortunately, you were wrong. You were really wrong. You were very okay, I'm lying. You were right. Today it is Creeper Farm Day. That was the point of all of these cats. We're gonna need Peaches too today. We're gonna need you. We're not gonna need you. Well, you know what? That's your lucky day, wandering leading man, because I have cats nearby and I can't have your llamas shooting my cats. Pam, you come with us today too. It's been too long that you've been sitting in your house, Pam, but yeah, that's right. Today we're building a creeper farm. Now, today's creeper farm build is actually a pretty simple build. This build doesn't take all that many materials at all, actually, which is a really good thing. Why would you want to build a creeper farm? Well, really one thing: gunpowder. If you have infinite gunpowder, or at least a good amount of gunpowder, then you can make rockets. If you can make rockets, then you can get a whole lot more use out of your elytra, which basically is really cool. Elytra are really the coolest form, and maybe even the best form of transport in this game. So, if you enjoyed today's guide episode, let me know by dropping a like. The support on these episodes always helps. And materials. So, what do you need to build the creeper farm? Well, the materials are going to vary depending on how big you want to build your creeper farm. You are definitely going to need at least one cat. We have 2 cats over here. We'll breed them and get a 3rd cat. We'll need 3 cats for today's build. Now, other materials are inside of this chest right here. We're going to need 9 hoppers for our collection area and a chest to put those items, the gunpowder, into. Then we'll need some fence gates. I think 8 should do. We'll need some carpets, definitely not 3, more than 3. We'll need building blocks, and then we'll need a lot of trap doors. This build will take a lot of trap doors. We're also going to need water buckets as well. And then, yeah, if I didn't say, we're gonna need a lot of building blocks, like a pretty good amount. Location, location, location. So, we're building a cool town, Elites. We need this creeper farm to be in a good spot. Now, I think it would be cool to put the creeper farm somewhere over here up in the air, because we have the iron farm over there up in the air, and then we have a lot of space over that way to put something up in the air as well. We could maybe even do something over there too, but over there is the wool farm. It's a little bit more crowded. So long story short, I think we're going to build the farm up in the air over here. One of the big reasons that I chose this area over here, hold on, it's nighttime. We gotta sleep. One of the big reasons that I'm choosing this spot over here where we're standing right now for our farm instead of maybe on the other side of the storage building or something like that is because of the caves. So it's been a while since I've been caving, but when I was caving, I think I was caving out caves that are under this area approximately. For this creeper farm to work better, you are going to want to light up your caves or build it crazy high up in the air. I'd like to be able to see this thing from the ground, so we're not going to build it too far up in the air. Instead, we're just going to have to focus in on lighting up the caves. If you don't light up the caves, the rates of this farm will not be that good. This is very important. So either before the build, after the build, go light up the caves around here. We need to eliminate all spawns down below this farm for it to get better spawns inside of the farm. That's just how Minecraft spawns work. So I've centered this farm off of that chimney. That chimney is actually centered on the storage building. So, of course, symmetrical, clean, organized city. You know the deal here this time around. It's a new world. It's a new me. Now, we need to go really far off the ground. How far? Well, something like 25 blocks or so should be good. So right now we're on Y64. If we add 25 to that, we're going to have to go all the way up to Y89. And maybe we'll add one more and say Y90. 90 should be a good bottom of this farm. The reason we're going up so high, like this right here, is to make sure that the creepers that we're dropping out of this thing, eventually, the creepers that we will be dropping out of the thing, will fall. And, instantly, yeah, you know the thing, they'll go away. How am I going to place this block? Okay, not like that, not like that, not like that, not like that. Okay, this is gonna be bad. I need a block off the side of this thing. Okay, so we're all the way up at Y90 to start this farm. Instead of using some sort of fancy despawn contraption like a lava blade or something, we can just use fall damage. Fall damage is perfect. If we drop a creeper, something like 23 or so blocks, it will do the despawn move as soon as it hits the ground, which is exactly what we want. We want this farm to be entirely automatic, just running while we're in this area. Of course, we don't want to have to do anything for this farm. This farm will hopefully supply us with all of the gunpowder that we'll need for the short term. I really, really need rockets. So we're going to want to start with a circular platform down here. This platform should be 5 blocks out from the center. So center right here, then 5 blocks, and 5 blocks that way, 5 blocks, 5 blocks. Then we need to turn this thing into a circle. Now, turning this into a circle is actually pretty easy. We'll add another row right there, add another row right there, then we'll add another row right there, add another row right there. Then we have this kind of like weird looking corner, add 2 blocks, and boom, we have this right here. So basically, if you're copying this exactly, you should have a flat side of a circle that's 5 blocks, then 2 blocks, then a turn, and 2 blocks right there. And then we're going to go ahead and go 5 blocks again. For now, we're just going to use black concrete powder as the base of this farm, but I'm thinking that I'm going to come back in and try and make it look a whole lot more cool, you know. Black concrete powder, it looks good, but yeah, I think we could add more detail to the bottom of this thing because we're going to see this thing from the ground, and of course, if it's just a giant black floating circle from the bottom, I mean, it'll look cool, but like, it won't be that cool. The iron farm's pretty cool looking. We definitely have to make sure this thing looks good too. Now, you know me, I'm going to go ahead and climb back down here and double, triple, quadruple check to make sure this farm is lined up properly, because if it's not, then I'm going to have a big problem. So chimney right there, it goes over, and that's going to be the middle. Okay, perfect. That's good. Now we're going to actually switch our building block color up a little bit. So, you know, creepers, you've seen them. They have a color theme, and I think the color theme would be cool to pull over into this build. So instead of just using black concrete for the whole thing, or really any other blocks, on all of the visible blocks that we'll be placing today, I think we should probably use, we should definitely use some lime concrete as well. So I think I basically have a lot more material gathering, resource collection to do before we move on to the actual farm itself. But before you get too far into the build, the building blocks that you should be using for today's build should be spawnable building blocks that don't let light through. So something like planks, something like concrete, that would be perfect. You probably won't want to build this farm out of glass because that's going to let light through. Eventually we'll be making a dark spawning chamber, and of course, for creepers to spawn, like all other hostile mobs, we'll need a light level lower than 7. Glass, that's not really going to cut it exactly. That won't lower the light level at all, so yeah, make sure you're using blocks that are solid blocks that don't let light through. And you know, real quick, while we're down here on the ground waiting for our dye to smelt up, let's go ahead and put the collection system in because it is very, very basic. Chest in the ground right there. Behind that chest, we're going to need a hopper, and then basically a 3x3 of hoppers. Eventually, before we're done with this farm, we'll be taking out some more blocks on that bottom floor up there, so we have a 3x3 hole. You'll want a 3x3 of hoppers on the ground directly below that hole. So something just like that, and all of the hoppers should, of course, go into a collection chest. We're definitely going to make this look a little bit better later on, but for now, that will do. That's the collection system. Little bit more on that, though, after the farm is closer to being complete. Alright, 2 stacks of lime concrete. That should definitely, unfortunately, not cut it, but it'll do for now. It's fine. We can move on to the next step. So we have our platform up here. 5 blocks on this flat side, 2 blocks right there. Now we need to actually go diagonally off of this platform and up 1 block and put a wall on this whole thing. Now, the wall is kind of your choice in terms of how you really want to do things. It can be, of course, any solid block that won't let light through. You could fill these corners in all the way, or you could skip them. I'm thinking about, I think probably skipping the corners. I'm not 100% sure. I might end up skipping these corner blocks right there. That's what I'm talking about. Either way, though, you do need to put a wall on this thing. Now, this wall, I don't exactly have a height quite yet, but if you go something like maybe 5 blocks, that should be good for now. I think we might go ahead and do 4 blocks. Eventually, once this farm is done, you will want this wall to go all the way up to the top of this thing, and eventually, you will be putting a ceiling on this farm as well. But for now, just start with a wall that goes maybe 3, 4, 5 blocks high. And again, just to be super clear, make sure this wall hangs off of the platform. It's not like sitting on any of those floor blocks that you placed before. If you have your wall sitting on those floor blocks, the dimensions are going to be off and you're going to have a problem. So yeah, make sure you get your wall hanging off the platform placed correctly. Okay, so wall placed 5 blocks up. What am I creating on the wall? There's some kind of design. What could it be? Oh, I can't say. It's top secret. But yeah, the wall goes 4 blocks up for now. Ignore that one random block. Now we actually want to jump back down inside of this thing and get some other building blocks. Now I could be really fancy and, you know, use like lime concrete in this whole build, but I'm never going to see inside of this thing, so we're going to switch things up and get a little cheap here. We're just going to use some planks. Planks will do fine. Build 3 blocks off of this bottom floor, and on that 3rd block, we're going to place another floor inside of this thing. These blocks, those are all temporary, those can go, and I'll come back and remove that one as well. Now, this floor is not going to be the exact same dimensions as that one. This floor will be a little bit smaller. From the center block, go 1, 2, 3 blocks out in that direction, and then 3 blocks out in this direction as well. We're going to be creating a circular floor again, but this time the circular floor will actually be a spawning platform. So if we go and do that like that, now we can go ahead and easily turn this into a circle by adding a row of blocks there, some there, and then one right there in that corner. We do the same thing over here, so we end up with a circle that looks something like this circle right here. It's not the best circle because it's so small, but it's a circle, it's good. That's all you need to do. Flat side 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, you know, just like that. In the middle, go ahead and place 1 extra block, then place a temporary block, and then we can go ahead and start the next floor inside of this thing. So the beauty of this creeper farm is the fact that you can do as many floors as you'd like. If you'd like, you could do like 20 floors going up and get pretty crazy. Or if you're like me and you just like to keep things a little bit more realistic, you could do 3 floors. Today, we're going to do 3 floors. But before we start putting in all of the other floors, we do need to get one very important creature up on top of this block right here, the one that we're standing on. So we're going to actually go ahead and jump down. We'll get some scaffolding in here, and we need to go get one of the cats up here. The cats, oh boy, the cats can be a little bit tricky, especially if you have chests sitting around. So to cat-proof this whole area, what we're going to do is put a block there, we're going to put a block there, and we're going to put a block there. We'll go ahead and put a block there as well, and there, so the cat doesn't try and stand on any of those things. Then I'm going to realize I forgot something in this chest and break the block out, just like that, and then we'll put it back. So one of you cats, which one will it be? I've already bred them, by the way. The baby is right there, tiny. Actually smaller than the flower. That is really tiny. But anyways, let's see. We'll go ahead and do George the second. George the second, you'll come with me up here. So we go ahead and let the cat move, and then we need to climb all the way up there, and the cat should teleport up here. Hopefully no cats get harmed. If we're careful, I think we should be good. But we're definitely going to want this lead. Okay, good. You're up here. Come on. Keep coming, George. You're almost there. We need you up here on top of this floor. Okay, this is where things can get a little annoying. If we take scaffolding and build up, I think we can get George to teleport. Did you teleport up here yet? No, you didn't. Okay, well, fine. It's cool. It's good. I'm calm. Look at this. We take the lead on the cat. We can just pull the cat all the way up here. We build a staircase, of course, as you can see. Let's go, George. Come on. Hey, stop playing the games. No more games for you. Come on. We're going up top. Yeah, honestly, this is the trickiest part of building this farm. We need to get the cat up here. If you could just cooperate, George, that would be really cool. That would be sweet. Come on. You're almost doing it. Oh, you got it. Okay, nice. Come on. Keep coming over here, George. You're going to get right up on top of this block. Boom. Perfect. Then we take the lead back, and George will sit there forever. George is going to live on top of this block and really power this whole farm. You see, Minecraft creepers are cool and all. They explode. It's pretty dangerous. One of the most dangerous mobs in Minecraft, I would say, at least early game. But they're terrified of cats. Creepers hate cats. So once we get this thing set up, creepers will be spawning in here. Then they'll realize there's a cat there, and they'll walk off the side of this thing and be funneled down to the center and drop down to us, taken out automatically. But how are we going to get creepers to walk off of this platform willingly? Of course, Minecraft mobs won't just walk off of blocks. That's not how their AI works. We can instead trick them, though, with trapdoors. So if we place a trapdoor right here and then open it, the creeper is going to see this as a full walkable block. we can encourage the creeper to walk over here even more by placing trapdoors on the outside wall. So basically, trapdoors placed like that, and then trapdoors placed like that as well. All of these trapdoors need to be opened just like that, and now creepers will see this as a walkable space and try and get away from the cat. So creeper spawns, realizes there's a cat, says, oh yikes, and tries to walk this way and then falls. Down here, that's exactly what we want. So long story short, we need trapdoors on all of the flat sides of these platforms. So this side right here, the 3-block long side, and then the block on the wall right across from the flat side. So just like that. So in total, you'll need 6 trapdoors on each and every side. 3 right there, jump across, place 3 more right there, and then we open them all up. The more platforms you end up setting up on this farm, the more trapdoors you're going to need, and unfortunately, trapdoors are kind of expensive, so maybe consider using like spruce trapdoors or jungle trapdoors, you know, trapdoors that you can get a lot of easily. But if you thought you were done with trapdoors, unfortunately, bad news for you. You're going to need a lot more trapdoors. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. So we could create dark platforms in here, and that would be good. But how do we stop skeletons and zombies and, you know, those other mobs from spawning in this farm? Because we definitely don't want them spawning in here. You see, if we have a bunch of skeletons and zombies spawning inside of this farm, once it's done, they're going to cause a big problem. Because they, unlike creepers, aren't afraid of cats. They'll just spawn here and idle around and stand on this platform. Maybe from time to time their AI will cause them to walk off of this area right here, but for the most part, they're just going to stand and be a problem. How do we stop the skeletons and zombies from spawning? Well, that's actually pretty easy. So check this out. Welcome to the Guide Creative World. We were actually here not too long ago when designing the Guardian farm. More importantly though, check out these 2 mobs right here. We have a zombie and a creeper. Nothing too special about them. But more importantly, pay attention to their height. So we place a block, we place a block. 2 blocks tall. That's how tall that zombie is. The creeper, though, is noticeably shorter than 2 blocks. If we place some over here, yeah, you can definitely see that this guy is shorter than 2 blocks. So next up, take a look at this right here. Not much has changed. We have a zombie right here, but unfortunately, I can't place a trapdoor right there. Meanwhile, over here, we have a creeper in between these blocks, and I can place trapdoors in here. The trapdoors are the secret to eliminating these mob spawns. You see, zombies and skeletons are both the same height. They're 2 blocks tall. Meanwhile, creepers are not quite 2 blocks tall. If we place trapdoors on the ceiling of a spawning space, zombies and skeletons won't be able to spawn. Meanwhile, creepers will be able to spawn. That's exactly what we want. We'll actually be able to easily remove spider spawns too, but more on that in a minute. So, basically, long story short, to stop skeletons and zombies from spawning in these platforms, all we need to do is line the ceiling of these platforms, so this block right here, with more trapdoors. Unfortunately, it's going to be a lot of trapdoors, especially if you do more layers, but it is what it is. It'll be worth it in the end. Now, I do recommend putting another trapdoor in the center as well, I mean, just because, but this is a 1-block space, so you should be good. Nothing should spawn there anyways. I'm going to go ahead and put a trapdoor there just to be safe. Everywhere else, even more trapdoors. Any trapdoor variants will work. If you're loaded on iron, like I am, not to flex, you could use a bunch of iron trapdoors, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to use a bunch of jungle ones. I'll cut down more jungle trees, but yeah, you're going to need a lot of trapdoors. Okay, boom. Trapdoor ceiling in. It's good. And now, I did go ahead and change the central trapdoor to a spruce one. Is that relevant at all? No, definitely not, but I already started saying it, so I'm going to tell you it. I guess I just wanted the center to look different, but anyways, we need to stop Minecraft spiders from spawning in here. Stopping the spider spawns is really, really easy. For a spider to spawn, it needs a 3 by 3 by 2 block space to spawn. We can stop all of that from happening by placing a carpet right there, a carpet right there, a carpet there, and a carpet there. If you go ahead and look at the blocks now, there are no 3 by 3 by 2 block spaces that are open for spiders to spawn. The carpets stop that from happening. Creepers can spawn everywhere else inside of this thing once we get it dark. So, that brings us to the next floor. Now, I mentioned earlier that I'm going to do 3 floors to this thing. That is definitely still the plan. To make the next floor, just go up on top of this one and start placing everything in. We start with the central block right here. We go and get a cat on it. Then we do the trapdoors around the side. We do the walls up higher. You know, everything that we just did. We're going to go ahead and do that this time and then one more time. So we end up with 3 spawning floors inside of this thing. But let's say 1 floor was enough for you. Then you could just take the walls up to this spot right here, fill this in, like the ceiling, and then boom, you'd be good to go mostly, other than the funneling system, which we'll talk about after I get all of my other floors in and everything else in on the farm. But basically, long story short, this right here is the creeper farm, other than the darkness and the funneling system. Super, super easy to set up. You can tile this over and over and over again as many times as you'd like. You could make like a bunch of these in this area too. We're not going to do that. One should be good for us, but yeah, that's actually it. Now, I have a lot of work to do. I need to go ahead and get those other floors in and get all of the walls in on this build as well. Seeing as we already did all of that already on camera, I think I'm going to go ahead and just cut to a time lapse, get the rest of this thing in, then we'll be back for the final touches of the creeper farm. Wish me luck. I hope the cats behave, and time lapse in 3, 2, 1, let's go. George the Second, Peaches the Second, and of course, how could we forget George the Third? They are now all in their positions, and all of the trapdoors are also in their positions. This was, seriously, elites, a lot of trapdoors, but it's done. Well, mostly. We have all 3 spawning platforms in, the outside wall is in, all of the carpets are in their place, and again, like I said, all of the about 1 million trapdoors are in their place. Now, all we need to do is set up the funneling system, put a roof on this thing, and then we should be pretty much good to go. So first, the funneling system. We're going to funnel all of the creepers down off of these platforms onto this platform here. We'll put water on this layer and basically spill them out the middle of this farm. Now, to prevent things from getting clogged up, we'll do a 3x3 dropping hole. So that means we'll need something to stop water from falling down out of this farm. Fence gates will be perfect because we can open these fence gates up and let the creepers fall, but the water still won't fall. So 3x3 of fence gates in the middle, then we can actually go ahead and remove the blocks under the fence gates as well. But we need to be careful because we are still definitely in this farm. So we're going to do a scaffolding right there so we can easily get out of here, because if I fall from this height, I'm afraid. I'm very, very afraid bad things could happen. So after that, we're going to need to place some water in here. Unfortunately, the scaffolding is going to go away, and we need to be careful. We need to... Oh, maybe it won't be. I thought water ruined scaffolding. Aha. Anyways, all the way along these flat sides, we'll do water sources. Then, in these corners, we'll do water sources as well. This will set the water up so it doesn't fill in flat across this whole thing, but it does funnel towards the center. Be careful. If you put a water source right there, everything will start to fill in, and you'll have to take all of the water out with sponges or blocks, and then, yeah, basically have to put it back. It'll be annoying. So just be careful where you're putting your water. Water sources along the 5-block long sides, and then one in the corner just like that. After you get it in, you should have something that looks like this. This is perfect. This will work beautifully. Now, the ceiling of this thing. That is actually pretty easy. All we need to do is climb up to the top of this thing and place some blocks on top of it. But one big catch. If you're using solid blocks like me, I'll be using black concrete, you'll want some light source blocks up here too. Otherwise, mob spawns could happen on top of your farm, and that could be dangerous. So we're going to go ahead and go back down and get some jack-o'-lanterns to fully light up the top of this farm. By the way, elites, I've had this texture pack on for a while, keep forgetting to show you, but gotta send a big shout out to my guy Airvolt for these beautiful, beautiful pumpkins. If you want your pumpkins to look pretty elite tier, check the description, there's a link to my texture pack. It's beautiful, again, made by Airvolt, big shout out. The carved pumpkins and the jack-o'-lanterns look beautiful, and there's a custom painting in this pack as well. It's pretty fresh, if I do say so myself. Maybe I'm a little biased, but yeah, link in the description. Check it out, it's free. Java edition though. I don't know if there's a Bedrock version. Oh, and I was really secretive about what I was making on this farm before. You take your final guesses. You can see it at the top of the screen. You're gonna see it very soon. You can't see it until the full thing is complete though. So yeah, if you're guessing what design I'm putting on the side of this thing, you better guess soon. Now, when you're putting light sources on top of your farm, be very careful that you're not putting light sources in a spot where they'll light up the inside of this farm. If you're lighting up the inside, spawns are going to be worse, or maybe even not happen, depending on how overkill you're going with the light. Okay, so the roof of this thing is on. Now let's go ahead and go down into this thing. Put that in there. It gets really dark in here. That's exactly what we want. If it's not dark in here, you would have a problem. But this is beautiful. This looks perfect. So all we need to do is carefully climb down here and then get out of this farm. As soon as we start getting a little bit of a ways away from this thing, spawns should be able to start to happen, which is really, really good. We don't want to stand under here, though, so we're going to go ahead and move and see how our spawns are happening. By the way, the outside of this thing, obviously, we had to. You already know I was going to do it. We put a creeper face on it because, I mean, it's a gunpowder farm. It's for creepers. Creepers only here. So, I don't know. I thought that would be pretty cool. But, yikes. We aren't seeing any creepers fall quite yet. And, fortunately, that's not because of the farm. It would be because of the caves under this area. We could potentially have a lot of caves under here with spawns inside of those caves. And, unfortunately, those spawns would be taking up the hostile mob spawn cap. I'm going to go ahead and give it a minute and see if we can get anything falling out of this farm before I go off and start caving. I don't know if I feel like caving today. Do we have anything quite yet? No, nothing quite yet. Now, technically, there is a little bit of a cheat when it comes to getting good rates on this farm, but it's not really a cheat at the same time. If you didn't feel like doing any caving whatsoever, that's fine. I feel you. I understand. What you could do is just go really high up in the air, like way, like up there somewhere, make a platform and just stand and wait. And wait and wait. Basically, the higher you are up in the air, the less that will be spawnable area down here. So if you're really high up, like super high, the caves won't even be able to spawn mobs because they're not within range. Oh boy, did you hear that? That definitely was a creeper, so this beautiful farm is definitely working. No need to worry there. No gunpowder that time around. Sometimes creepers will fall and not drop any gunpowder, which is sad, but other times they will. Would you take a look at that? That's beautiful. That's the sight that I love to see. But basically, what I take from all of that is I have a lot of caving to do. We are going to have to go down into the mine soon and get those caves lit up. The caves under here, which will be tricky to find. We'll have to find them though, get them nice and bright, so then this farm starts pumping out creepers at an even better rate. Then, once we get that done, we can AFK over here in the fish farm. The iron farm will be running because we're very close to it, and the creeper farm should be up and running as well because we aren't too close to it from the AFK fish farm. But there you go, elites. That is how you make a creeper farm. Remember, the more caves that you light up, the more spawns that you block, the better the rates of this farm will be. If you're planning on AFKing long-term overnight, you should probably light up the surface as well, because the surface is definitely spawnable area. If we were AFKing in the AFK fish farm at nighttime, mobs would spawn in the field over there, and that would also eat up the hostile mob cap, thus lowering the rates of that farm right there. But I'd like to wrap things up today at the end of the episode by checking out the iron farm. How are we doing? Oh boy, that is really, really good. We're doing great. This iron farm is amazing, and I honestly have a sneaking suspicion that this might be partially in the spawn chunks of this world, meaning the farm is constantly loaded in, which is really, really big. The reason I think that is because during the whole ocean outpost project, I would come back over to the base and the iron farm would actually be overflowing. And interestingly, the bee farm would actually be overflowing as well. I've emptied this a few times now, but it looks like it's time to empty it all over again. I don't know, not too sure. We'll have to do a little bit of investigative work soon to double check that one, but that is actually going to be just about it for the Creeper Farm episode of the Minecraft Guide. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, drop a like. If you liked the farm, if it helped you out, drop a like as well. And if you have not subscribed yet, change that. Definitely change it. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell as well. Today, big shout out to my patron, Archangel. Thank you very much for the support. Thank you all again for watching. And until next time, stay fresh, elites. I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye, everybody.